Overseas growth can be tricky in a number of different guises. One is you're not there by definition. You're here. You don't know the culture. You don't know the industry players, regulation, and so on. So there's an access and a business operation issue which you have to address. Clearly, there's markets you need to understand, and so on. So. It does depend where you are in the cycle to the type of model you could use. So David mentioned middlemen. It happens a lot in retail and logistics type systems. We provide services from overseas back into the UK, but we manage it to our clients here or to the headquarters, even though they're used and consumed in other places. So there are a range of different models. In terms of JVs, though, which I think you did mention, we've found them beneficial in some cases and hugely disruptive on others. And primarily, as with all good business models, all the partners, all the stakeholders have to be aligned with the shareholder objectives. And so if you have a joint venture, for example, between a customer and a supplier, the customer shareholder value is created by the value they get out of the venture in terms of price points and products and so on, whereas a supplier typically is getting value out of the profits of the JV itself. And so you can end up with tricky questions like, we'd like to increase the price. No, you don't, because I lose. So I think it does depend on the nature of the market. Now, if you look at the market itself, India and the Philippines, where we are, and China and so on. In each of those markets, there are different constructs that work. But I think you really need to pick the one that enables you to enter, that it creates agility. And I think the point that I think David made before was that you need, at some point, you may need to unpick it. So you need to have structures that have quite a deal of flexibility in them, especially if you're not sure how you're going to enter. And things like JVs and big tie-ups and big long-term agreements may be just plain wrong, in terms of that structure. So
I think the key word probably is alignment. You've got to really think through at the front end what elements of the JV align the two partners and what elements may actually divide them. And it's worth spending quite a lot of time on the architecture and getting to know the people on the other side of it. You can never ever legislate for all aspects of it in an initial JV agreement. I mean, you could spend so many thousands of hours with the sets of lawyers trying to legislate for the unknown, but you're better off really having a very honest discussion about what do we want out of it, what do you want out of it, is it likely to work?
I would say JVs for our business don't work. We either partner or we acquire. So in APAC, as an example, every market, every single country has a different challenge. So you've got to have good local presence yourself and then play to the 80-20 rule, which is do 80% of things through leverage partnership and 20% in-house, and keep the deal flexible enough so that you can change to align to future growth as you go. We've been restricted in a few deals on the mobile side of the house because we've had too long a vision and strategy. If you go short in the early days, it helps the growth and it keeps the flexibility. That's what we've found.
David, you got anything?
Well, I think Roger hit the nail on the head with alignment. I think particularly in some territories you have to do JVs if you want to enter a territory. And I think spending the time making sure you fully understand your partner and what they're in it for, I think is really, really important. The only other thing I would add is understand what your core competency is, because don't subcontract your core competency, and it's very easy sometimes to to muddy the waters and miss out on that. But in the path to growth, don't be afraid of outsourcing the rest. Focus on your core competency, build the value in your business, and recognise the fact that on that journey there is people that have been there, done that, and be able to take a lot of the strain away from you. So I'd say that was the only thing I would add to what's said already.